Greetings and peace to you all. My name is Umi. Thank you guys for joining me for this quick video. Someone had inquired about journaling, and this is basically some tips or ways to encourage you to start journaling if you don't already. I feel journaling or just having a notebook, some people don't like to say diary or journal, but having a notebook is even a good idea because for many people, especially those of you who feel you don't really like to talk to people or you don't like to share your thoughts and ideas with people because they always have some response, even when it's not asked, like you don't need a response. But if you want to find a way to just have an outlet for your ideas and thoughts, then journaling is a very creative and appropriate solution to that. You don't have to worry about criticism or judgment or people's 2 cents when you journal. So that's one reason to consider it. You can have a dream journal. This is obviously good for those of you who find yourselves waking up in the middle of the night, you have very vivid dreams. And if it's not actually writing down the dreams you're having, it's writing down your hopes, dreams, and wishes, your plans and desires for the future. You can also consider a 5-minute journal. I have a 5-minute journal and it comes with prompts in it. So things like I'm grateful for and what would make today great and daily affirmations, 3 amazing things that happened today. These types of exercises, they may seem very simple or elementary to some people, but they're actually very good in helping us to focus on what's important in life in a very simple and quick manner. So you start your day off reflecting on the positive, affirmations and what you hope for the day. And then you end your day revisiting what happened, what great or noteworthy things happened to you. So a 5-minute journal may be useful to some of you. Keep in mind with journaling, there are no rules. There's no right or wrong. I will say one of the things I've learned with journaling, I started journaling when I was about 11 years old, and I kept my diaries or my journals for years throughout my 20s. And round about the time of my Saturn return, I burned all of my journals. I probably had about 10 or 12 books and I burned them. And the reason being is because after going back through them and reflecting on my journals, I realized I wrote a lot of just negative, depressing, despairing, I don't know what I was going through all those years. I didn't think to write positive things and, accomplishments and victories. It just seemed like every time I was bothered by something, I would go journal about it. And I just felt like burning it was a way to just release all of that negativity and all of the old and, my thought processes at that time. So now when I write, I ensure to have a balance. I write things that maybe are bothering me or troubling me. And I also write things that I'm proud of, that I'm excited about, and plans that I have. So if you do have a journal, I do encourage you to make sure you're not just writing down your woes and depressing stuff. For those of you who are, creatively expressive, you may find that writing down songs and writing down poetry, writing down again your manifesto, things you want to manifest in your life can be very encouraging because you can always refer back to it. You can share it, later in life with your children. So you want to make sure that what you're writing, the power in what you're writing, it bears the potential to manifest in your life. When we write things, keep in mind at one point that was a sacred task to be a scribe and to write down utterances of someone who was, connecting with God or higher spiritual beings. Like to write that down was a very powerful role. It was a very sacred task. And now, the age of typing everything and texting and abbreviating, and we say words we don't mean. So we want to get back to a sense of placing power in what we really mean by writing what we really mean, writing our intentions, writing our thoughts, writing our dreams. Something else to consider is to write to yourself. Actually consider if you were writing to yourself, what would you say to yourself in a particular situation? And I found this to be useful in times where I was needing counsel, but I didn't really have someone to get that counsel from. So when I would kind of detach from my situation and kind of see it from a different vantage point, how would I talk to myself if I was feeling critical and bitter and, depressed? I would pretend as if I were talking to someone else who was feeling that way, because it's amazing how when we're going through something, we can immediately show up and be able to help or support others in their time of need and forget about our problems when we realize someone else is in trouble. So if you look at yourself or your situation like that, like, okay, what would I say to this person, you know, what would I say to her, to him, and address yourself in your writing as in that way, if that makes sense. So having a daily journal is definitely a good thing. Again, there's no rules. Do what feels good for you. You can invest in a expensive journal, you know, leather bound, natural papyrus paper, get you good quality pens, just so you can make it into like a ritual where you really enjoy the art of writing. You can get, again, a notebook like this. I write down a lot of my notes for videos and just thoughts and ideas that come. I jot them down. I encourage people to do that, especially if you have a lot of Uranus energy in your chart, where thoughts can be very fleeting. You have an amazing idea and you think you're going to remember and you don't. So you have to keep a notebook handy. It doesn't have to be this big. It can be something small and convenient. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you all. I encourage you to write if you are interested in getting into writing. There's, you know, a lot of information in books and journals that come with prompts, things to help work through relationships, health issues, spirituality. It's so much on the market. So just find what resonates for you. So thank you guys for tuning in. I hope this video was useful, and until next time, peace.